Hey y'all. Today we chatting about Navajos of the West. And it's gonna be a great time. We're gonna love it here. Let me see. La 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 la.
We still can't see me. And
I don't know. We gotta get it together.
I'm working with one device because I broke my other phone,
Oh no.
unfortunately, some days ago. So, yeah. But yeah, let's talk about the Ninghe, the Dine people, if I pronounced it correctly. Don't chop me up, Navajo. Right.
Yeah, I thought it was like the Dene people, because it was spelled different ways. It was Dine with a little hyphen, then it was Dene with a hyphen, then it was Dane. And I was like, oh, so y'all don't care. Y'all use all the vowels. I ain't mad.
I mean, yeah, but I wonder if the pronunciation is correct. They ain't exactly give me that. I'm trying to get my slow computer to pull up my notes for me. The phone is a lot faster. I don't understand how a computer processor is a lot slower.
Because they want us on our phones all day. I read an article about that, about how people will sit in front of a computer and use their phones, and I'm like, I remember once upon a time the internet on the phone was worse than the laptop. Now that is reversed.
Yeah, because they
A
wanted
lot.
that convenience and to track us all the time and what we're doing and
That's
to
what they
train their
do.
AI. Like AI, they have gotten AI so trained to where, oh, we can have you make $2,000 a week. They've heard me say I can make at least $2,000, $3,000 a fucking week, and here they go throwing it into my algorithm or whatever with their bullshit.
Crazy work.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Navajos. I don't know why I put the emphasis on Navajos or the Dine people.
Navajo was actually like, when I be learning about these tribe names, none of these tribe names is for real. Like, that was the last few ones we did, right? All the names that was given to them, they're not even really their names.
No, they
And it
not.
was actually given to them as an insult because Navajo initially, they're the Athabascans,
Yeah.
that's much better.
Mm-hmm. So it was
And
a long word.
yeah, and that's the tribes that came through Asia on the Bering Strait. I think I got a picture of that because they'll be letting me put all my pictures up here too. They be trying to play me.
Why do
I
you
did have
got
a
Mona
map of the
Lisa
Bering.
bald head ass
Where
up
did
there?
I see that from? That is not what I had up there.
That's the most beautiful painting in the world. Bullshit.
This was wrong.
It was mid.
She
It was mid. Oh no, now she's blurred. Oh, here we go. Oh, a
they
story
came.
quilt.
Yeah, and my blankets are actually from the Navajo tribe too. That's where the land is at. The land is on the Navajo John. So I got this blanket from them. That's Navajo, and then my purple John. It looks like this, but it's purple and yellow. That's from the Navajo John. That's all the way over there because I be using
This
that.
design actually looks like something I've seen in the furniture store. The bottom and the top half of it.
hmm
Mm-hmm. Except it has circles. They have circles in it.
Oh yeah, so Athabascans. So they came from those are the people that came from Asia through the Bering Strait because at one point it's like this little line of land between Asia, the north side of Asia, down to Canada area, and they stayed up there for a little bit. And that was supposed to be like 2,000, 5,000 years ago, or whatever. And then around 1,000 to 1,500 AD, so these is new natives to America. They're not, I mean, America's a continent, but these are new natives to like this area. Like they came around the time the other colonizers started coming around. For
Mm-hmm.
real, for real. So the Pueblo people, the specific tribes of the Pueblos is the Tiwa people, and I got pictures of them. These are the Tiwa Jones. Why they put my picture on top of his head though?
Yeah, he's rather dark too.
Yeah, he kind of handsome. That's why I picked that picture.
Yeah, he is a baddie.
Yeah, he's a baddie. Ty people in the Zunies, um,
Uh-huh.
they called them
Child. Don't look like rednecks. You sure they ain't the $5 Indians?
oh, okay. I went down a little rabbit hole with that. Put a pin in that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But these people called them Apachus. So
Mm-hmm.
Apache is also a derogatory term because Apache. So the Navajos and Apaches are both Athabascans. So
Mm-hmm.
they like cousins. They from up the Canada area. So when they came down here, the Pueblos was calling them Apachus, which means strangers or enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not even you don't even want to be called that for real, for real. So then when the Spanish came, they called them the Apaches de las Nabulu or Navajo. And that Navajo just means area of cultured land. So basically the whole Navajo, the full title of the Navajo is enemies or strangers of cultivated land. And they just called them Navajos for short, which just means cultivated land.
Okay. Okay.
So that's the
So
story.
it is a story. The Navajo means large field or plains. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Um, their origin, well, the creation story, because all these tribes had their own, um, creation story, known as the Dine Bahani. Uh, it involves like a journey through different worlds where the Navajo or the Dine, I'm just calling them Dine. I'm gonna stop disrespecting their name. Ultimately emerging from the fourth world, which is our world or what have you, and explains the relationship between the people, the earth, and the cosmos. Now, when I asked them to further explain the creation story, they act like they didn't understand what I meant by that, because it wasn't as detailed as I thought it was going to be with it.
As far as the worlds,
Yeah,
I
because,
got some good
if you
stuff
got a
to look
fourth
at.
world, then you got a first, second, and a third, right?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I went down a rabbit hole for that joint too.
Did you find anything?
Yeah, I did. Now, I'm about to butcher the enunciation, so get ready.
Mm.
But so the first world is the black world. This is Dilhil. I don't know. I said that with an American tongue. I don't know how they pronounce their vowels. Okay, but the first world is the world of darkness. The dark world, the Dene began a journey of emergence into the world of the present. It had four corners. Over these appeared four clouds. The four clouds contained within themselves the elements of the first world, and they were color black, white, blue, and yellow. So the thing in the black world, they had insects, they had black ants, they had bee people, okay, they had wasp people. Interesting. They also had a divine. Oh no. That's not it. The black cloud represented the female being or substance. For as a child sleeps when being nourished, so life slept in the darkness of the female being. So like going through the womb. The white cloud represented a male being or substance. He was the dawn, the light which awakens for the first world. In the east, at the place where the black cloud and the white cloud met, the first man was formed. And with him was formed the white corn in perfect shape, with kernels covering the whole ear. The Hanotini is the name for the first seed corn, and is also the name of the place where the black cloud and the white cloud meet.
This
So
is
the
all still
first
within the first world, right?
yeah. So the
Mm-hmm.
first world was small in size, a floating island in mist or water, and on it grew one tree, a pine tree, which was later brought to the present world for firewood. Man was not, however, in present form. The conception was of a male and female being who were to become man and woman. And the creatures of the first world are thought of as the mist people, as they had no definite form. So it was given ghosty, okay? Ghosty in the womb. But were to change to men, beasts, birds, and reptiles of this world. So eventually they'll get here. Now, on the western side of the first world, in a place that later was to become the land of sunset, there appeared the blue cloud, and opposite there is a yellow cloud, where they came together as first woman was formed and with her yellow corn. And the ear of corn was also perfect. The first woman there came the white shell and the turquoise and the yucca, which are things that they wear heavily. Um, First man stood on the eastern side of the first world. He represented the dawn, and he was the life giver. The first woman stood on the opposite in the west, and she represented darkness and death. Um, First man burned a crystal for a fire, and the crystal belonged to the man and was a symbol of the mind and of clear seeing. When first man burnt it, it was the mind's awakening. First woman burnt her turquoise for a fire, and they saw each other's lights in the distance. And when the black cloud and the white cloud rose higher in the sky, first man set out to find the turquoise light. And he went twice without success, and again a third time. Then he broke a forked branch from his tree, and looking through the fork, he marked the place where the light burned. And the fourth time he walked to it, he found smoke coming from home. Um,
Hmm.
so
So,
I'm trying to skip paragraphs.
not a saying so at the same time. So, is this still? Are we still talking about like the darkness?
Yeah, this is all happening in the darkness.
Okay. Um, I guess this is talk about their universe, as far as like the earth, sun, wind, and the sky. Hmm. Did it explain anything about the wind though?
Mm, no. So the first world is the black world, the second world is the blue world, the third world is the yellow world, and the fourth is the glittering or the white world, which is here, which is when we get into the complexes. It gets
Okay.
very complex about, balance of all the worlds here.
Okay. Well, the second, you want to move to the second world? Or you have more information you'd like to share on the first world?
I had like two different articles. One of them was like the actual story of creation. So they went through, well, it's kind of interesting. They're going through creation to come to this space.
Well,
It's giving Adam and Eve. It's giving Yakub.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely given like all their creation story is similar to what we are already familiarized with.
Yeah. It's giving these niggas was made. Because I didn't even realize they was like new natives for real, for real. I mean, they make 1,000 to 2,000 to 5,000 years ago sound so far away, but when you think about like the Olmecs that were already here with like running water and a
The
form of
cheapy.
government 2,000 to 5,000 years ago, that's not very
Mhm.
impressive.
It's not 30 something thousand years before them, probably. They probably
Yeah,
don't even have the timeline right in the timeline correct anyways.
because the
Okay, so the
prevalence
second
were
world,
already here when they got here.
yeah. So we have the second world, the blue world, or the Dutsi,
Oh,
light
you can
and
pronounce it.
life.
You got it.
I'm trying.
I feel so
Dulitzi.
good.
It
I
looks
gotta find my
German.
YouTube videos.
Dudlitzi. Duditzi. I might have been saying it wrong. Um, well, the second world is blue, and it symbolizes light growth in the beginning stages of life. It introduces the challenges of creation, and the animals and plants and other beings created in the first world now find their place and purpose in the second world. The symbolic meaning of blue represents a step towards clarity, the introduction of light, and the birth of life. Um, but this world, even though so it is beautiful, as they say, is a transitional phase. While the world begins to take form, it is not balanced enough to support the human inhabitants and other beings that are emerging. So it sounds like, only it's not suitable yet for humans.
What, the first world?
The second world.
Yeah, I got the second world. So Beagle Chidi is the child of the sun. who is both man and woman and have blue eyes and golden hair, is giving Palladian.
Huh?
Um, I can't stand them niggas.
Yeah, good old Palladians.
Ugh. They created things. So they created the clouds, they created more plants and mountains. And this is the second world I'm talking about. The color of the second world was blue and there were other beings in it. Swallow people and cat people. Okay. The cat people tried to fight Beagle Cheetah because remember Beagle Cheetah is I think that's a coyote. And yeah, fire god. Oh, fire. No, coyote and beagle cheater are two different things. My bad. My bad. But yeah, they had cat people, and the cat people tried to fight Beagle Cheaty and the others. But First Man used his magic and overcame them. And for a time, everyone was happy. Then things began to go wrong. And once more, Beagle Cheaty planted Big Reed. And once more, Beagle Cheaty told First Man and the others to put all the things created into Big Reed. And Big Reed began to grow. Up and up it went and carried them into the third world. So that's how they get to the third world.
Okay, well, before we get to thorough, let's back up a little bit because we got
Mm.
these role of these holy twins. Okay,
Mm.
these holy twins, they battle monsters and evil beings who threaten the peace of order of the creation, and also the holy twins set the stage for the transformation of the world into one that can support the human life. Dun 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 dun. And now we're moving towards the emergence into the third world, um, which is laying out the groundwork and provides, well, it's proved to be unsuitable for humans and other creatures. So, okay, we know it ain't suitable
And
yet.
it was all yellow. Mm. Yeah, there
Yeah,
was
the
no
yellow
food
world.
in it.
Okay, here we go. Transformation and harmony.
The mountains actually gave the light, which is very interesting. I wonder how that worked. Was it like crystal mountains?
Mm.
This was the
Good
most
possibility.
beautiful one.
You got pictures of the mountains?
No.
Um,
I just got I be downloading so many photos, but then I realized TikTok only lets me show but so many.
you gotta probably like flip them, reverse them, mirror them, reverse them, and then change the filter. I think.
They do put it in their flag though. They see the mountain?
I like their flag. It's nice. They got pine
Mhm.
trees all in it. They look like almost like a rainbow flag, kind of like I don't know why the illusion kind of looks like rainbow, but it's not rainbow. It's only
It
three
always
colors
gives like
there.
the shield vibe.
Mm-hmm. They got their wheat or corn. Yeah, that's corn.
Yeah, I don't know what the Athabascans or whatever the Dene people was doing up in Canada, but when they came down here, they didn't know how to farm. They didn't know how to herd animals. Like the Pueblos had to teach them everything, and then the Spanish taught them how to herd animals. How the fuck the Spanish not even from here? How the fuck y'all needed the colonists to teach y'all stuff? But
Yeah,
that's why
colonists be lying. They always try to write themselves in some shit.
it's giving I like boots. But I met so many Navajos and they were so cool. They were so nice. So I mean, I don't want to give generalized statements, but I'm about to give one real quick. It's about to be real ignorant. I'm a little, I like to be facetious in this quote unquote information stuff where everybody pretend like they know what they chatting about.
So the mountains were like portals, They said
Yeah.
they represent, spiritual thresholds that connect the physical world with the spiritual, and the mountains hold power in places of reverence. Mm. Then the third world is shaping the beings of the world are finally ready to emerge into the fourth world, where balance and harmony is achieved. Mm.
The third world was actually destroyed by a flood. Always a flood somewhere.
Interesting.
From the east a black storm came, and from the south a blue storm approached, and from the west came a yellow storm, and from the north a white storm swept. And once again Beagle Cheetah gathered all the beings and the things created, and once again the big reed grew up. So the big reed was something that they planted in the first world, and it just keep growing. All the people got into the big reed in the first world, and then the second world, it was what was it? Shit, I lost my place. But by the time we get to the third one, it's kind of like the lifeline or whatever. It lifted all the beings and things as the storm waters rose beneath them. So it's kind of like the ark. And then this time, though, it was not as easy as before. The big reed stopped growing before it entered the next world. And the spider people wove a web to bring them closer. So now we got spider people. But they could not break into the new world. And the ant people tried to dig through, but they could not do it. Finally, Bingo Cheating told the locust to try, which is no, that's not locust. That's what's the faces? That's the cicadas that's on
Cicadas.
the ground, right? Using his hard head, the locust broke through the first world, and now Bigo Chidi climbed up through the hole the locust made. He found himself on an island with only water to be seen in all directions. And Bigo Chidi saw right away that there were others in his fourth world who had great power. And to the east was talking God, and to the south was first bringer of seeds, to the west was the house god, to the north was the second bringer of seeds. And Bigo Chidi waved to each of them. Um, Pretty much.
Hmm.
And then they were waiting for the dry, kind of like the Noah story when he was waiting for the bird to bring back like an olive branch or whatever to show that there was land available. It was the same kind of vibe. It was just like um, waiting for a sign that there was like dry land somewhere. And
I mean, well,
then,
if the world was flooded, then everybody went through the same shit, and everybody has a similar story or something, then, huh?
yeah, the same thing we did
All go to work.
when we did the mermaids episode, and it seemed like
Mm-hmm.
every culture had a story of like the mermaids.
Yeah, so maybe these people, even though they're in different locations, they would definitely, well, if it was a world ending or some form of Armageddon, they were all going through the same thing at the same time. They had to use the same form of technology or skill or something
But
to
what's
survive.
interesting about them is they like this is the first story I heard where they're actually like in the land.
Hmm.
I never heard that before of them being like in the land. It's always like, yeah, we were just always on top.
Yeah, that was always on Plymouth Rock.
Right.
Mm.
But what if Plymouth Rock really did land on us? What if it's the
And
sky?
buried us, right?
Right. That's why we can only see a little bit of the sky and not the all the. Because the star is supposed to be so much bigger than Earth. If everything is so much bigger than Earth, then how can we see? Like I get like the science of it so far away, woo, woo, wop, but not everything is so far away the whole time.
Yeah, like satellites.
So we gotta be like, one theory is we gotta be underground, which is a theory you had brought up one time. Like the West Africans don't even get into constellations and stuff like that because in their minds we're under a layer of
Rock.
rock. Yeah.
With holes in it.
Mhm.
In the night sky, that's what it looks like. And the light is shining through, the moonlight is shining through, or the light is shining through. But then how does that explain the moon though? That we can see the moon. Oh, maybe we can only see a part of the moon when the moon is passing through the holes. Some kind of like looking through a peephole, I guess.
Well, I agree with your theory that all of this is inside of our bubble.
I believe so. Like, ain't no way you can tell me that the Earth and Moon. Ain't no way you can tell me that the Moon and the Sun look the same size though. But the Sun is much further away than the Moon is. But yet, sometimes we can see the Moon pass through this portal, and then we can't. And then the Sun doesn't. And like the Sun, I think we got different suns too.
Yeah, definitely. The doggone tribe be knowing would they like real heavy on the Sirius star, which is four different stars put into one.
Mm.
NASA just now starting. Oh yeah, it's for. How did they know, nigga? Instead of y'all being so big headed, why don't y'all just be like, these people already got the information. Like y'all annoying as hell. But these are
What
people
they
that
got us
really
looking through in a
detecting.
telescope really ain't what is made to what it is though. Maybe they be lying.
That makes me think of that show, Paradise, which is a great show. And the whole time I thought them niggas was on Earth until something happened in the sky and it made this whole like color thing happen. And then I realized they were in a dome and they're actually underground.
Yeah.
and they just created this simulation that make it look like they have a sky and a sun and a moon and stuff like that, but they're really underground because there was a nuke threat, which come to find out that there's actually people that are alive. I don't know. I can't wait till season 2 though. Shouts to Paradise. That's a dope ass show. I highly recommend it. I'm having a great time there. It's almost as great as La Brea, which I wish they would bring back. Those two shows are really good shows if you want to get into the layers of Earth and traveling through time and space at the same time.
Mm, that does sound interesting.
I love shit like that.
I just wonder why I can't never identify a satellite, but I can identify stars though.
I can identify satellites because they be moving. They blink a certain way.
They do move. Well, the ones I used to see, they used to blink like have a red light.
Hmm.
They're a lot closer to the Earth than what they'll say. I've never seen a floating satellite like in the sky, like while being in a plane or what have you. Anything like that. But they're definitely within our atmosphere. Ain't no way you could tell me they're outside the Earth. Because how huge would you have to make a satellite to be in order for us to see it's outside of the Earth?
You can't leave the atmosphere. It's too hot.
Absolutely not. Right.
Everything we have here that we've created thus far has a melting point. The outer sphere, the outer sphere is way hotter than all the elements melting points that we
Right.
have here. So it wouldn't make sense for them to be like, yeah, we're in outer space. No, you're not. You're just on the outer layer of Earth's bubble. I mean, you are in outer space. I'm in outer space right now. Like, if you want to have that conversation, we're in fucking outer space.
Mm-hmm. Mm. I just don't agree with a lot of shit. One day I'm just
I
gonna
agree
sit
with a
down and just take
lot
a
of
shroom and
shit.
just think about it.
It's so much stuff that's I don't agree with, but I be quiet because people be so emotionally attached and they get so angry and then they start force feeding me information that I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't care. I don't need paragraphs in my inbox. I don't want
It's
to
the
go back
same
and forth
information
with
we all
people.
had ever since like third grade. That you're trying to force me to still believe that I'm trying to get out of this cycle and out of this mindset of believing, because my mind is telling me that what I've been taught and what I've been programmed to know is not really what it is.
Right.
And having to
I
reprogram yourself after K through 12, and some college, is a difficult task. Because somehow it's in the back of your mind, you're still believing some of the shit and trying to make it coexist with the new shit that you're trying to figure out. Leaving some room to still expand beyond that. But anywho, I digress. The fourth world, the present world,
the
Earth,
glittery
balance and
word.
purpose. Yeah, this is where balance of life is realized and the DNA are formed. And here is where they take place in their cosmic order. Basically, let us make them in images of us and put these niggas on some land. They're supposed to have harmony, stability. This place is representative of previous worlds that have come together to create a sustainable, life-supporting environment. Here we are with the sacred mountains in the earth. The four sacred mountains represent the four corners of the region, the southwestern of the United States. They are actual like markers of the land. They represent the core of the DNA identity and the spiritual connection to the earth.
You know, Virgo and Gemini are those are the only two zodiacs that are people, right?
Yeah, the Gemini are people too. They're twins. Yeah.
So, because I'm looking, so in the story, when they get to the fourth world, right? This is when the sun and the moon and the stars are put into the sky, and then that's when I've read this story before as a kid. The fire god wanted to keep the fire to himself, and the
Mm-hmm.
coyote stole it in his sleep. I've read that one of those little books in school. And then Bigo Chidi told the human beings the right way to live. Mind you, this being is a man and a woman, and with blonde hair and blue eyes, Palladian vibes, and how to give thanks, how to care for the plants such as the corn, squash, and beans. Bigo Chidi gave them different languages. Then and sent them through the world. It was now in this fourth world, the changing woman, Virgo,
Mm.
came to be, and she became the greatest friend of the human beings, helping them in many ways.
Yeah,
It was
definitely a
the
fucking
changing
Virgo.
woman who gave birth to the hero twins, Gemini,
The Geminis,
who
okay.
traveled through the world doing great deeds, which is the story of the Beji or the Gemini twins, because they traveled through the world and they destroyed monsters and they threatened the people. They destroyed the monsters that threatened the people. So the fourth world came to be, however, just as the worlds before it were destroyed, when wrong was done, so too this fourth world was destined to be destroyed when the people do not live the right way. And that's what the Dene say. So if people don't do right, the world will eventually be destroyed and they will have to, maybe there's a fifth world to go to. And that makes sense because we are kind of like in the fourth dimension. So,
Yeah. I guess when we reach the fifth dimension, it's like death when we ascend, or we can become we gain the higher, or we ascend to our higher spiritual self. Mm. I'm only guessing though. So these are different degrees or dimensions.
mhm.
Let's see.
Yeah, I can see that because the first dimension is dark, is void, is not really anything there. Then you get to the second dimension of flat. So there's things there, but it's flat. That's like associated with the scientific theory that we all came from this weird ass bacteria too.
Mm.
I think
What
science is
which
definitely
bacteria is that? The
the beginning of life
Staphylococcus,
is
the one
dumb
that
as shit.
everybody has.
Huh?
I said, which bacteria is that? The Staphylococcus, which is on every damn thing.
Is that what it is? That little wormy looking thing?
Well, there's different types of staph or whatever, because pneumonia is a type of staph, and you have what's that other one that's detrimental to you? What they call that shit? The one that you get the boil from comes from a type of staph, and MRSA. That's the type of staph
Oh.
too, I believe. It's deadly though too. Yeah, it's different staph, but those are definitely bacteria that are on and live in everything in different strands. I don't know. I don't know which bacteria they talking about we all emerge from.
I'm trying to find the name of it. It's a single cell thing and it looked like a little chunky ass worm.
Oh,
And it was like,
me
you
either.
from this thing. And I'm like, bro, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. And I'm like, this is the first thing that was
A
on Earth.
prokaryotic type of cell.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a name of it. It'll come to me at an odd moment because I know the name of it.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
not.
What the hole's whole, which means harmony and balance. Get off my screen. And beauty is the Navajo's way of life. Is a guiding principle that they abide by. Um, the roles of the sun and the moon, they're celestial bodies, but they're not living entities. They don't have like a type of yeah, living entity or whatever. So they don't. I don't think they really have like a god for the sun and the moon, um, which is kind of disappointing. But uh, whatever. The sun represents life, growth, and renewal, and the moon represents its changes, cycles, and spiritual guidance. On a nutshell, that's essentially what we believe too. In astrology. Mm. And the sun plays a critical role in rituals as it dictates the rhythms of life from the seasons to the agricultural practices. So, they didn't have anything like too far fetched or what have you. They was like, okay, the sun and the moon, we recognize it. It's pretty basic, basic essentials of life. Um, and we can track, our cycles with it. But they look to the moon for spiritual guidance, so it has to have meant more than it just being a living entity. Well, not a living entity, but just a celestial body.
The Navajo seem kind of basic. They seem
I
more.
mean, this is how they're explaining it. So I'm like,
They
okay.
seem more like a colonized tribe, which is why it seems like they're so recognized and respected, and there's so
On a
many of
federal,
them,
yeah,
and they
that,
have such a large.
yeah,
Um, they have the large. They are the largest tribe in the United States.
yeah, the
Cherokee is.
largest federally recognized tribe.
I think
Hmm.
that's because they're the colonized tribe. They literally came down here. Um, well, you figured that Columbus people came around the 13th century, but the Dene people were still migrating around the 13th century too. They weren't like fully like established to the 14th century, like around 1500s. So
Hmm.
they got trained how to use the land by the Spanish. So by the time they got here, the Spanish were already comfortable on the land. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it's like, I think that's why they're so recognized and respected because they are the colonized tribe. They let the Palladians, birth them, and then with this
Yeah, which
big
is crazy.
and then they also helped heavily in World War II. So this was something that I learned. The first time I heard this was when I was in Arizona and I met someone, and he doesn't really care for how the story is being told. Apparently different tribes doing different things, different Navajo natives doing different things. Some Navajo natives were bent on helping the Americans during World War II, where other ones were like, fuck that shit, stop helping them niggas. And, but all in all, they have a language and they're considered the code talkers. And they
Yes.
helped take over Iwo Jima. They helped the Marines take over Iwo Jima with the code that they spoke in. This is actually the only military code to never be deciphered by the enemy still to this day. And so I'm pretty sure they still use it. And
Yeah, they said the code was unbreakable. Hmm.
I forget the Native American's name. I didn't get a chance to go down this rabbit hole, but I remember the man telling me the story. He was a super cool dude. I still have his phone number in my wallet. It literally says Code Talkers on it, and it has his phone number underneath it. And he was
Wow.
seeing how like there was a few natives that were on the battlefield, and not they had their Navajo language, but they have another Navajo language. So even amongst them helping the United States, they still had their own language amongst each other that they were speaking that not even the military could understand. And they were like giving information to let the other natives know back home what was going on, or to like, they were also trying to fight the United States, as well. So like, every now and then they do some sneak shit. They talking in their own language and they're attacking the United States. Because then, a lot of them, they make it seem like, oh, a lot of the Navajo, same way they do with black people, quote unquote black people that fought in the war, like, oh, they're heroes, they're heroes. Nah, bro, y'all was running through our cribs and taking our sons and our husbands, or y'all was threatening or actually raping the women in the house, and like, yeah, you want this to keep going on? You better get on that plane or get on that bus or whatever. So they make it seem like it was like, oh, we were just willing to do it and we were just brave and valiant, but that's not the whole story. You know what I'm saying? So that particular man that I spoke to, he can't stand the whole manifest destiny and Navajos were such helpers to the United States. He wasn't with the shit. And so it was really cool to talk to him about it, because being present and reading about this shit online in the different articles I read it, they do only talk about it in a way that the Navajos were happy to help. And that's not the whole story.
Okay. Well, you know how people like to tell their story and stuff and rewrite it. And somebody knows the truth about it because somebody's ancestors told them, pass the story down about what happened. That's why it's really important to talk to grandma and them and papa and them and, the aunties and shit, the elders or whatever about what really happened because they were there.
Yeah, the education system is like the worst, because
Hmm.
because they were actually able to like have their culture and do the thing, but once they started putting the kids into the boarding schools, so they wasn't even like going to and from school on a regular basis. They was sending the kids, like grabbing the kids to go away to school, to where they would come back and now they're in this, they're in American clothing. speak English. They don't have any type of connection to their culture, which is what. Oh, coming back to that rabbit hole about pictures. So the earliest native photograph is from 1853. So by then, because racism started in 1775, by
Mm.
then they have already racially separated the native tribes. So it makes sense that they would only have pictures of natives that are of lighter hue and straight hair. And if you notice on the background of a lot of pictures, coming back to these older, earlier ones, this one not so much. Mans is in the middle of nowhere, but it's quite clear that he's been Americanized. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of them are in front of school buildings.
Who them hoes is?
There was one. I don't
You
know.
tell me those ain't like really? Those are white folks. I don't care what nobody's saying. Like she got that goddamn Alabama Becky Part.
Definitely got the handsome Squidward facial structure.
Like you ain't lying. That's definitely giving Dog the Bounty Hunter ancestor right there. Now the other lady looked like Lil Wayne
I see it. She look like
today.
she beat ass. She look like she'll eat your face off, and I'm here for it. Eat faces. This is what they look like now.
Yeah, Buddy in the blue collar shirt
He
definitely.
doesn't even go here.
Yeah, and ma'am over there in the back next behind him, that's his sister.
They got the
And the guy
turquoise.
all the way to the left in the corner.
He look like Selena's dad. Salina.
Mm. Now, I will say the lady right there with the glasses on her head, okay. And the guy maybe sitting down, okay. He got a pilgrim hat on. It's agitating me.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Got my young mans out there.
Okay.
That's their attire. I really love the colors. I'm big on these colors. I love bright colors. I like the patterns and
Okay.
stuff. Makes me happy.
It's, she's a Puerto Rican.
It is a Puerto Rican. She fly. I
Mm-hmm.
would definitely rock that shit.
That's nice. That's nice.
It's nice.
I like the potteries.
Yes. I like potteries too. They became a so in like the 1900s is when they discovered oil on their land in the 1920s, which was very dangerous because, one thing about a white man, he loved that oil. And this promoted a need for systematic government because they were like, we got this oil, we need a systematic government. Of course, they took on the government, the government structure that the Americans had, that the Americans didn't even originate because we talked about the
Like we
Africans.
got oil. We don't know what to do with it. All right. We know what to do with that shit as if they had oil before.
Right, basically. But these niggas just like stealing shit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So they came up with a systematic government, which was a very intelligent thing to do. The tribal government was established in 1923. It was 83 council delegates, which represented 110 Navajo Nation chapters, and then it reorganized again in 1991 to form the three-branch government that we all know and love, I guess. But all of that derived from them finding oil on the land, which is actually a
Legislators,
part
judicial,
of
and
the
executive branch.
yeah, yeah. So their flag is pretty interesting. It's tan. The outline of the nation is present and is copper color. And it has the 1868 Treaty Reservation in dark brown on it. It has four sacred mountains, which were the mountains that we talked about, the black, the white, the yellow, and the blue. And they're at the cardinal points. And it said like the mountains appeared when they got to this land. The gods created those four mountains as a boundary for their safety. You got the Blanca Peak and Hesperus Peak in Colorado, and then you have Mount Taylor in New Mexico and San Francisco Peak in Arizona. So those are the four mountains, the sacred mountains, and then there's a rainbow over the top of it, and that represents the Navajo sovereignty. which is interesting because we get into Noah, right? Noah, the rainbow, which is supposed to be the treaty between the people and the gods. Like, I ain't gonna kill y'all through a flood anymore, but I might kill y'all in other ways. um, and a circular symbol represents the sun with two stalks of corn and three animals, with the traditional home to represent the economy, with an oil mill between the Hogan and the house and the sawmill by the house. So all that is just to represent the economy and the bases of their home and stuff that you see in the middle of that circle. We're supposed to be like the sun, um, which represents their experience in this land with the four mountains. So it's pretty straightforward, but still symbolic at the same time. It's pretty cool.
Um, so their nation was very vast. Um,
Mm.
it covers parts of Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. Um, they have a variety of landscapes, from deserts to high plateaus and mountainous regions. Mm, this was the stupid this thing I've seen though. They said that they have more land, and which is larger than Maryland and West Virginia. I'm like, okay, Arizona is huge by itself.
Yeah, it's pretty
New
big.
Mexico is huge by itself. Utah is huge by itself. So we're talking about as far as like territory wise, Maryland is not that huge at all. Neither is West Virginia. So I don't even know why y'all comparing the land of Navajos to Maryland and West Virginia together.
I
Mm,
did see that too, and then I also saw that it was like the size of like 10 U.S. states. I don't know which U.S. states, but those are big states.
yeah, Utah is a huge state. It might not be a lot of like, population out there, but as far as like land mass, there's a lot. Probably some parts we haven't even really discovered yet, because on a map, everything has a borderline, false lines, that are there. Um, they have their own legal system and it manages their resources and their mineral and energy reserves. The Navajo Nation government has a president and a council, judicial system, blah, 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 like we just said, and a few tribal governments, such as robust and independent political infrastructure. They love to look to the United States government. So which was established first, their government or ours?
Theirs. I mean,
They make it
ours.
seem like the United States government was there before.
They didn't establish their government like established till like the 1800s. By then, the U.S. was already established. U.S. established was 1776. These people didn't have their shit together till like the late, not even the late 1800s, because in the 1840s was when they had their own version of Trail of Tears. We been had ours in like the 1600s when they moved everybody else to the west of the Mississippi.
When they evicted everybody for the land.
Yeah, they didn't get theirs till like 200 something years later because they wasn't even settled on the land for real like that yet. They still was coming from Canada. That's what I'm saying. Like, these is like real newbie people, so I don't understand how they're so much more established and recognized and so much larger than all the other native tribes that been here, that was here way before this. Their establishment.
Because they shook
Their
hands with
government wasn't established for real until 1921.
because they signed treaties to assist with the war and shit.
Well, you let the Moors tell it. We got the fucking peace and friendship treaty, and I don't see no peace and friendship fucking happening. And the Moors swear up and down they rule over all the darker tone. Well, I don't want to get into the darker tone because racism is a social construct, but all of the quote unquote black tribes or whatever.
I mean, but phenotypes are there though.
Yeah, phenotypes do exist. Yeah, it just didn't become a prominent thing until they started doing the separations and the racism. And like I said, when they started photographing Native Americans, they made sure they only photograph certain phenotypes. So we only have certain kind of photographs. We don't have the nappy headed natives. We don't have the darker tone natives. We don't have the natives with the wider noses. We only got specific phenotypes on film.
Mm-hmm.
That was very intentional.
Nobody believes us when we say that shit.
Exactly.
Because images rule and symbolism rules shit.
You gotta go through the rabbit holes, man. They be fun. When I make time to go through a rabbit hole, I have a good time. I just haven't been able to make time. I made time that day though.
For real.
But yeah, they had their long walk was in the 1840s. This is when the U.S. forced 9,000 Navajos to march from Arizona to East New Mexico, which was about 300 miles, and they were not given the food, shelter, or clothing as promised. So Moses fucked up on that one. Well, whoever was the Moses on that Joan. Like I said, it was the colonists. It was the Spanish that taught them how to herd sheep and goat, which is weird because they knew too. They not from here. They wasn't from here neither. So how you had a colonist teach you how to do shit on land, but y'all are way more established than the people that were on the land way before then. And then they try to try to wash away the entire existence of the Aztecs and the Olmecs like they were never here, which is
Because they had prisoners of war.
weird.
That's how they got taught. We taught them. You think the colonists, goddamn, who was out there beating, raping, and shit, was teaching these niggas how to damn till land? No, they learned that from the prisoners of war, the enslaved.
These is Asians, cousin. I just started
Mm-hmm.
teaching them every fucking thing. Lord, these the ones that be all over Instagram and TikTok and shit, calling people out their name and stuff because they love their master.
Mm-hmm. That is
Um,
true.
that's why the Pueblos ain't like y'all asses. That's why y'all called Apache. They be walking around with that name all proud and shit. Well, actually, no, I think they actually do call themselves the name, but we gonna bring back the Apache name. Fuck you. They were also very matrilineal. Extended family was very important. Inheritance, lineage, and clan was identified and passed through the mother. So I went through I had a whole aha moment about this because in today's world, everything is patriarchal, which is very intentional. It was the dethroning of the woman. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like when a woman get married, she gives up her last name, which is the first trap. Because if everything was passed through the mother's name and the women and then after this whole colonization situation and they started controlling how people get married, the fact that so many women have gotten their names changed kind of makes it very difficult to find genealogy. That's a whole nother I guess spell in itself, is the women changing their names because everybody, when people get into the lineage thing, they keep looking at the father's names. But if you go back a certain level, it's not the father's names you want to use, it's the mother's names.
Yeah.
Same shit with giving our kids the father's last names. No, no more of that. And they get our names. The fuck? My oldest
Them
has my
both
mother's name.
names.
Or both names, right, for the balance. But no more giving up the mother's names. We got to go back through the mother's names to get to the land. And people keep
So what's the
going through
purpose
the
of having a
father's
middle
name.
name?
Hmm.
They should have a surname and a madam name.
That's why Spanish had like 15 names. They was taking everybody's shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
definitely from the
15
mother
last
side.
names.
Mm-hmm.
Just out here stealing. But a child is born to a mother's clan and born for a father's clan. The husband would usually move into the wife's home. There's a balance of male and female tasks, and stuff like that. But the men did hunt. They were the political leaders, the warriors. They raised the children. They cooked and they made jewelry. The women, raised the children as well. They owned the land and the assets and stuff. They took care of the children. They cooked also, and they made the blankets. And the clans are separated by the women they're related to. It was not about the man. It was about the woman they were related to.
So the men moved into the woman's house.
Yeah. So
Mm.
the woman was actually in control of everything, especially the elder woman.
Mm. What you bring to the table type shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Um.
And they did get divorces and stuff. So that was something. And then the man would just have to leave. Get the fuck. And the children and the assets would stay with the woman.
Um, yeah, I see they did. They had like silver work, turquoise jewelry. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The silver work reflects designs linked to the natural world, like thunderbirds and other creatures that hold spiritual importance. Well, what's the other creatures then? Why y'all always leaving with and other things? Like, can we extend on that?
And other things, etc., etc.
Other creatures like what?
Like the spider people. I like how they had like insect people for everything.
They had the Chancer's belt, which was worn by their healers, um, for their spiritual guidance. Um, it's interesting. A Chancer's belt. I want to get more into that. Let me see if I can pull this up with my slow computer. It's freezing up. I need to get a new one day. Come on now, Chancer's belt. Well, I would think that would be a belt that they will wear when they got a chant and tap in with the ancestors. If I'm going to take an educated guess at that,
Mm-hmm.
where they need to have prayer and what have you. You have anything on the Chancer's belt?
Mm-mm.
I'm trying to
I've
get.
been with my notes.
Oh, you were finished with the notes?
Yeah, I've made it to the end.
um. Okay. Let me get here. The Chancer's belt. Okay. It's a sacred item linked to traditional healing and ceremonial practices. It's primarily associated with the Hatili or the singers or medicine men and women who are the spiritual leaders of the community. The belt is entwined with the practice of song healing and the ritual use of prayers and chants to restore harmony, health, and balance. The purpose of the belt is adorned with the ceremonial elements such as feathers, beads, and shells. Um, and they do night chants in a blessing way. It's multifaceted as a representation of the power and responsibility of the chanting healer, a tool for channeling spiritual energy. Okay, the spiritual connection, the belt is a symbol of authority and spiritual wisdom. When the Hatali wears it, is believed to empower the bridge of the spiritual and the physical realms. Okay, okay. It's like it works like like something to open up a portal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is worn while performing rituals and chants. Okay, and the bell can be used during healing chants to focus the power on the ceremony. It enhances the chanter's ability to communicate with spiritual beings in the natural world. It restores balance and well-being to those who are ill or suffering from misfortune. I want to see what it looked like. Oh, damn. I can't even show it anyways. Do we like the Navajos?
The ones that I've met, I had a great time with. Um, Reading the story of their origin, I can't get mad at them. They were able to come on in. They were able to establish themselves. They knew how to play nice. They were even when they got done dirty, they still played nice. Whereas the rest of us was like, yeah, we gonna go to war. Fuck these niggas, we fighting, gang, gang. And so, I can't be mad at them. Like if I were to say I didn't like them, it would be like a jealous thing because like why is your native tribe so much more established and recognized and us, darker toned, phenotype natives, we are not getting the recognition. I know why. So it would just be like a colorism, like the Willie Lynch letter worked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So what this belt looks like is silver, right? With little, we've seen these belts before in the West. They have a piece of turquoise in the center of it, and it's got like a silver, it's like a silver piece, a silver plate, rigid around the edges, kind of like a flower like, looking and oval shape. They call it Concho's belt as well, but these are the Chanter's belt, and some of them are rectangular shape as well. But in essence, they have like a piece of turquoise in the center of them, some type of crystal or precious rock. And they run about $1,300 right now. You can get you a Chandler's belt for about 1,300.
Hmm. Nice.
Well, I'd be buying it for 1,300. No, they call it a concho belt though, sterling silver concho belt. But like most of the Westerners wear those belts. Any of those designs or whatever are essentially based off of those Chanter's belts. They didn't took it and made it fashion. You've definitely seen them before. Hmm.
Hey, little Daisy, why you not
Mhm.
sleeping?
I believe I've seen these belts at like Family Dollar, Walmart. They even have some where you can wear around the neck. They put them on hats. They definitely make them as a high fashion. No.
Oh yeah, because now it's like a cowboy
Yeah,
type of
exactly. Uh-huh. At least that's what I see when I pull up the Chancellor's belt. They call it concho belts, though. Seems like.
Hmm.
Oh, I see a picture of some darkies.
Not turkey.
Yeah, well, they when they take these pictures, they made it like so, like they shadowed the faces so much to where you cannot really make them out. They're just out there sitting on the land, chilling in the sun. Hmm. If you want to find black Navajos, you would have to definitely search that.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it is. They have someone called Black God.
That's
Girl,
a.
I was about to say this lady right here look like Roxy. Yeah, look at her. Look her up. Sheila Dasher.
I met somebody out here whose energy reminds me of her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sheila Dasher.
Mm-hmm. Sheilah Dasher.
She kind of do.
Yeah, there's a resemblance there. I see some more other pottery too. It looks nice. You have to be specific. Black Navajo people. Oh, here they go. You know, like you remember the cartoon when they used to show the Indian guy cartoon or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or the one that used to always make the exaggerated "ooh" sounds.
Oh, the Looney Tunes Jones.
Yeah, but he was really, really like red tint, copper tint, brown tint, or whatever. This is
Red.
what these guys look like. You know, with the large noses and what have you. And then here's another lady right here. But you know,
Red.
when you look up Black Navajo people, they like to cross out the word black and just pull up Navajo, and then the same images that we always see of the people.
PBS does give acknowledgement to the Seminoles and the Cherokees and the Choctaws being black.
They do.
Yeah. They still have the separation, like African American.
Yeah, yeah. I forget what that tribe of ladies that are in East Africa that grow their hair really long, but they kind of. Here we go. Who's this man right here? Ah, we're getting somewhere. Okay, here's the real niggas. You ever seen the picture of the little girl with the bow and arrow?
I don't think so.
I've seen that picture before. But this man right here, he definitely look like somebody that I done seen before. What his name? Crow somebody. Oh, they won't even let me click on the website to find him to see what his name is, which is crazy. I don't like that. Um, Let me see what else we might not have spoke about. Um, okay. The Navajo creation story is passed down through generations, but now living philosophy. Now I'm trying to find out when they had their creation story. Were their creation story like here in the Western world, or was it from where they came from like over near Russia and all that? Because it sounds like their creation story started like in the West of the United States.
Yeah, that's where the Bering Strait was supposed to be in the upper west side, like Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
So that little line from Asia to Alaska that was at
Yeah,
the
that little
top of
piece
the
of
map
land.
or whatever. Yeah, a little piece of land
Mm-hmm.
where they crossed over, 2,000 to 5,000 years ago, and then they hung out in the northern side, northwest side of Canada for a while, and then there was a volcano, the volcano in the 800s, which is actually another period of time where Pluto was in Aquarius Capricorn, and that was also around the time the wars going back and forth over there in Spain, you know, or the establishment of the Moors in Spain a little bit more because they took over in 711, right? So by 800, they was getting busy.
You said it took over 7-Eleven.
That's what it was. It was the year 711, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's why they like 711. I don't know.
Mm.
Um, yeah, but that's when they was over there doing that. And then when the volcano happened in 803, there was a scarcity of resources. And so that's when they like it took them 200 years for them to I guess because they were going through all the levels of Earth, right? That was the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it took them about 200 years to start trickling down here, and then it took them 500 years because they said from 1,000 to 1,500, which is a long time. 500 years. It took y'all 500 years to figure out how to come down here. Um,
Yeah.
About the 1500s, they was like here and given a piece of land. Mind you, there was already like native tribes here going back and forth, but these ones came in and got a red carpet treatment. They was just getting trained and taught by everybody. They was helping out in World War II. They lucked up and got oil on their land. It's just like a lot. It was like what what the hell.
Mm-hmm. How y'all discover this oil? Like I just seen it just like, like a geyser, shooting up out out of the ground.
I don't know how that goes.
But y'all digging? How y'all discover this oil? And then y'all went like, oh, let's go tell the federal government about that oil. Or we need a government to rule over this oil.
Yeah, because they know how them people work. They was like, oh, we got something that they might want. Let us hurry up and establish what we
We
need
got
to
the
do
black
to
gold.
protect it.
Yeah, because we don't know what to do with it.
They created a system, made sure they was getting paid, and that's probably what really like helped them be the teacher's pet of the tribes is that oil. Like, yeah, we'll play nice with y'all. We need what y'all got.
I wanted to know about like how they are living today. Um, and just like any other type of indigenous reservation area, it is they have historical trauma, um, poverty, geographic isolation, um, and they have like health issues such as diabetes and obesity. Why y'all ain't eating off the land? Oh yeah,
They
you
didn't
already
know
said they
how.
ain't no
They
farmers.
haven't
Yeah.
been taught. They did not know how. So I'm in my mind thinking like, what was y'all doing in Canada? I couldn't find no information. When I look up the Dene people, because this is the Dene people are who me and Miles was looking at, and I have like this map of the Americas, and we broke
So
it
who
down.
own the casinos?
The Navajos, and the Apaches. Those are the Athabascans.
Yeah. Well, if y'all own the casinos, y'all should be able to cover y'all reservations. But they take after they
A
big
lot of
homies.
their casinos and stuff they have is members only. It's not like everybody can come on all their casinos and do work, and it's not like they get the same burn as Vegas do. You know what I'm saying? That probably was another blow to their face. The fact that that America will create a whole bunch of stuff surrounding their land, so like they're not really getting the funds on their land. And it's probably like a whole bunch of stipulations and stuff they gotta buy, but they don't get like I don't know if they pay taxes. I don't think they pay taxes, but they do
No, they're
have
tax free.
mountains.
They are exempt from taxes. I believe they are exempt from taxes because of them being a tribal. But maybe they gave up some of those privileges. Like, okay, if you want to be able to have uh these um type of recreational activities going on our land, United States government, whatever, you got to lock in with us and pay these taxes.
Yeah, because I remember seeing some younger people complaining about that because on their land is not very developed. Like,
Yeah,
apparently, our taxpayers pay for like the roads and all that stuff like that. They don't have that. Like where my land is, there is no roads. It's
underdeveloped.
all dirt. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I appreciate that. I don't want y'all on my shit. I don't want to pay y'all taxes, and if I want to, if I got to pay out of pocket or figure out how to do it myself, then that's what I'm gonna do. I embrace the sovereignty. They don't like the rainbow, apparently.
Yeah.
They want to be assimilate their youth at least. Poor babies don't know no better. They want to be assimilated into the country for some fucking reason I don't understand. Um, as if looking at us isn't a symbol enough as all the reasons why y'all should not be a symbol. Just learn how to do your own shit. I don't understand why not just pay taxes amongst yourselves and teach ourselves how to build. Like, why are y'all still like lacking the intellect to,
Why do
to
we have to be
create your own
taxed
shit?
though?
Y'all
Like, why
had
don't you
your,
just charge the price?
but you had your own land since you've been here, and you still don't know how to cultivate it. You still don't know how to build on it. I don't understand. I'm confused.
Mm-hmm.
But that again, I've only seen videos of the youth complaining. I haven't really seen too much of the elders. And like I said, when I go out there, the first couple of times I went out there, and talking to the people, I had a great time, and I learned so much. Those people I was talking to, they weren't really elders. They were more so like around the same age as me. And then that time we went out there, we didn't really talk to anybody.
No, we didn't see none.
Yeah, we didn't really see nobody. So, um, I would like to go back out there again. Of course I'm gonna go back out there again a few times, many times, and talk to more people out there and see what's what and what's where. But yeah, a lot of that land is not it's not touched or anything. I don't have a problem with it.
According
But
to those other people, they own everything as far as the eyes can see.
they're very slow. When you think about how long it took them to even come down here and establish themselves and still not know how to cultivate their land entirely. Like y'all have a whole nation. What's up?
Maybe it's a lie.
Yeah. I mean, they still got the Dene people up in Canada still doing their thug dizzle. Ain't like they can't, like, you know, do some type of alignment or something if they aren't already. That's just me on the outside looking in. I don't know what they're doing.
Maybe they were the criminals that were released down here and shit. Like, like fucking, like the English to the fucking Australians. They just sent their damn criminals off to another land.
I see that a lot. And I also seen you got the breeding farms. Then you got a friend of mine. He's a he's a Black Panther, so he's heavy on the I'm black and nothing else. And his story is these natives are the bastard children of the Caucasians and the Moors, and they sent them over here. And the fact that I like the Moors as individuals, but there's certain things about the empire that just like don't sit right in my spirit. And
The natives are the bastard children of the Moors and the Europeans. But a
yeah,
lot of them don't have European features. They don't have European like phenotype. You know,
well,
they
they
don't
got the
have.
straight hair, and they got the noses and lighter tone or whatever.
Yeah, but
That
I
was his
don't know.
theory. I don't know how valid it is, but that was his theory that those are the children between the Moors and the Europeans. And they sent them over here, and because they got all these, beautiful treaties and stuff like that, they get the best treatment. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I've
They,
heard this before. Mm-hmm. No doubt. But I'm looking at it like, well, maybe it's true because, like, just like that picture we had pulled up, Buddy definitely was giving a lot of white, you know,
hmm
with his receding hairline and stuff, and then the other people.
I read about it a little bit more. I don't know. I have to read more into like the Moors and the history and things like that because there's certain things just don't just not sitting right in my spirit. But I see that the people that are like heavily into it, they're like heavily into it. Like it's a very heavy energy there. So it's like okay, um, yeah, maybe that could be like an episode one day. Could be
Yeah.
one of the episodes is the Moors and how do they tie into all of this because it seems like they take claim to everybody. Everybody is under this umbrella. But then when you get into the history of the name of Moors, which is also something that they come back is that's also a derogatory term.
Yeah. The olive people.
Yeah. So I don't know what it is, the fascination with the celebration of all these derogatory terms, but it is what it
Just
is.
like we still call each other niggas.
Niggas, black, African
Mhm.
American, Indians. Yeah.
Latino American. I mean, Latino, Afro Latino. Definitely got to separate, themselves from being anything else. Like I never heard terms like white American, what it's not used commonly. Like white Latino, that doesn't exist. Caucasian Latino, that doesn't exist. By default, you're already belonging to that nation or to that culture or to that creed if you're a Caucasian. Isn't that ironic? We have to throw Afro in front of everything, though.
Yeah, we have to put Afro in front of everything because everything is African.
Hmm.
All the humans came from Africa. If all the humans came from Africa, then everybody should put Afro in front of everything, even the Caucasians, because the Caucasus Mountains are in Africa.
Well,
I don't know. I gotta go through some more rabbit holes. These conversations, I'll be kind of like in theory
I
more
mean,
than.
it got called Africa because Hannibal had lost the war. How you lose a war? You only goddamn king of one damn nation now, or a few nations, but not the whole damn Africa. You lost. How you lost the whole Africa to a goddamn to a to a
The
Spaniard?
whole continent, you lost it. I don't. That's another manifest destiny conversation.
Like, all right, so we win this war, I win the whole continent. Nigga, you don't even own the whole continent you came from.
I surely don't. That gotta be a whole nother season. It's the countries of Africa after we get done these Native American
Yeah,
tribes.
because Hannibal lost the war to Afrikaners who blah blah blah. But yo, how you win the whole continent, bro? You don't even own the whole continent where you from. You don't even own the whole Europe. That was crazy. That was kind of like exchanging corn for land and calling it gold type of shit. It's
Yeah,
not in that way.
is that what is that the Jack and the Beanstalk? They gave us fucking beans and it's like
Yeah.
yeah. Give us the land for these little pieces of paper, this deer skin shit. I can't
Hmm.
make no moccasins with this.
This has been another episode of Virgo Virgin Talk, brought to you by Let's Nobody's Business.
Yeah, we are here. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We're gonna keep going through these rabbit holes. If anybody has information, instead of doing little sneak disses, especially in my inbox, because y'all love to do it, y'all can always come to the comments. You can also always be a guest on the show and share your knowledge. Always welcomed, because at the end of these episodes, what we know is we don't know. And we are open for learning and we have our theories and sarcasm is our native tongue.
It is, and it's hard to crack that code sometimes.
I don't want to crack it because I'm not attached to any of these origin stories any fucking way. So like if you're emotional attached to these stories, more power to you. I don't do the generalized statements. I'm all about learning about my family's personal story, you know.
So who we got up next? We got the Gullah Geechees or who? Who we got?
Look it up. I want to say it's the Seminoles, but hold on. The Navajos was eye opening though. It was cool to like look at it like a newer tribe, a newer formation, and see how well they just got in where they fit in. It's all about being in the right places at the right time, I guess. Um, the next episode, yeah, the Seminoles, the Unconquered Seminoles is next, and then we get into the Gullah Geechee. Then we have the Sioux tribe, then the Yamasees, then the Choctaw tribe. Then we have the Creeks, the Lenapes. Then we have the honorable tribal mentions, and I'm thinking maybe we should add an extra episode to talk about the Moors. And then I can't talk. I don't even want to say the fucking word. Colonial formation is going to be the season finale episode where we get into what the colonists did when they got here to wrap it up, and we'll see what next season will be when it gets here.
Absolutely.
It's been a good time. I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer. This video gotta get downloaded and uploaded eventually.
Oh yeah, that's why she's short today.
Nah, I had my information. I feel like I was long-winded a little bit.
Today?
Yeah. No, I wasn't long-winded today.
Not really, not like usually. We go back through all of our tapes. Any other episode when we was on YouTube or whatever, like those things go on for at minimum 2.5 hours. And let's have talk about like, how we backstage talking before we even air our episode.
True, we do be going for like mad long.
Yeah, we have got songs or something. But yeah, until next time, you guys, we'll see you next Thursday. Next Thursday.
Yep. See you guys next Thursday for the episode on the Seminoles. And again, if you guys would like to be a guest, if you have some information to share, we are open to receiving. Peace, y'all.
Peace.